Continuing now, Charles Krauthammer once again joins us from Washington. Last week, President Obama said this.
The men and women of the intelligence community, including the NSA, consistently follow protocols designed to protect the privacy of ordinary people. They're not abusing authorities in order to listen to your private phone calls or read your emails.
So do you believe that, Charles?
I would say that it is generally true. I'm not sure it's 100% true. People are human. You often have a bad apple. We know about Snowden. Snowden's the guy who uncovered the keys to the kingdom, misused information, and one way or the other helped it get into the hands of the Chinese and the Russian secret services. So we know there can be bad apples there. I would just say, though, for a program that's been around for 10 years, I haven't heard of any egregious cases of someone having their stuff listened into. And look, we know what happens when that happens. We have a half a century experience with Eastern Europe, with places like Cuba. When they listen in, there are consequences.
Sure.
They call you in, you lose your job. Your kids are harassed. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Is there a single case of that? Not that I know.
But here's what worries me.
That doesn't.
Here's what worries me, and you brought it up. You get a rogue guy like Snowden, all right, who's hired by the NSA, the National Security Agency. But he works for another firm, and he comes in, and he's savvy. He's tech savvy. He knows how to do hack into wherever he wants to hack into. If the NSA is compiling all this data, they may not be looking at it, they couldn't possibly look at it all, but they compile it, all right? Texts, emails, whatever. Maybe they have phone call transcriptions. A guy like Snowden can go in there. He can go in, and he could say, I want to get O'Reilly, or I want to get Krauthammer, all right? And I'm going to zero in on, try to find out if their numbers, say you got our phone numbers, if they have anything stored. And then if they do, I'm going to hack in and get it. That worries me, Charles.
And it worries me too. But you know what I also worry about? A second 9/11. I worry about a chemical attack. I worry about a nuclear attack. You have to weigh these, and I would rather run the risk of that happening, and you have to admit it is. Let's not pretend. Let's be honest about this. If you collect all this information, there is a chance of abuse.
That's
absolutely.
Right. Okay.
There is very little evidence of abuse in 10 years. I believe in the good faith of the people who are there. And also on the evidence of the last 10 years, there have been a lot of breaches, almost all of them inadvertent, and they all go to the FISA court and they all get corrected. Now, but you got to make a decision, Bill. If you don't collect the dots, you can't connect the dots.
Okay.
And
I have one more question. I only have 60 seconds. I got it.
Go
I mean, look, it is a decision about personal privacy versus national security.
Right.
The president gives a speech. He says, well, I'm cleaning up a lot of the stuff. Do you believe him?
Well, I believe that he and the people under him, the people who run the NSA, in the NSA, are of good faith. They're not lying. But there is the possibility of a rogue agent or of mistakes. And this is a human factor. You got to accept it. You got to make a fundamental decision. And I believe I'd rather err on the side of security, given the risks with weapons of mass destruction and with terror around the world that we see exploding every single day in towns all around the world. Given that, I'm willing to take the very small risk to my privacy, but it's a real one. I can see, and I respect those who would go the other way. But it's an argument that we have to have.
But I don't think the president did anything fundamental here. It was kind of smoke and mirrors. You're going to keep everything intact.
I agree.
He's not going to do much. All right, Charles, thank you. Directly ahead, terror threats against the Olympics in Russia. High drama over there. We'll take a look at it.